Hello, everybody, and welcome to another broadcast episode of A Father's Note, where we promote fatherhood through building men. I am your host, Mr. Lionel Nelson. Of course, you see that I am solo tonight. My beautiful wife, we gave her the night off. But yes, still, we have a topic that we definitely want to discuss. We feel that it's definitely necessary that we discuss, and it is the topic on when a man cries. And I've had so many conversations with men who are struggling, basically just being themselves, men who are struggling, who feel as if the world is on their shoulder. And I often say that, walking in the calling of a man is not easy. It has its challenges, no doubt. And for the very simple reason is because we don't identify or recognize that there's a purpose in which that we were created, that we were born to be a man. There is a calling on our life. It is not by chance. It is not by circumstance. No, it is something that has been ordained by God, and we definitely need to understand it and to know that. And before I continue to go, I do want to welcome all of you who are watching, whether or not Facebook Live or on our YouTube channel. We thank you. We welcome you. And how about just chime in? Let us know you're here. If you want to comment, if you have any questions, just put them in the chat and we would definitely respond to it. But getting back to a man who cries, when a man cries. As I stated, one of the reasons that we struggle a lot is for the very simple reason that we don't understand the calling on our life. Number two is because we are dealing with unseen forces that present itself to hinder us from fulfilling that calling that is on our life. So it's something that's very important that we definitely need to understand and really need to be able to grasp a hold of. So listen, it's very simple. I'm here to tell you that when a man does not know his identity or know his destiny, it's no doubt that he would easily fall into default to the cares of life, to the cares of this world. There's another thing that I often say is that, every man deserves his own peace. Every man must find his place of peace. However, I want to say this, that when you are pursuing peace without the peacemaker, which is God, then the peace that you obtain without God, it would only be temporal. You cannot sustain it unless you have the peace of God within. So we hope that tonight's discussion, will definitely target the emotional struggles that most men have, if not all men, of course, and how we want to give answers. We want to give words of wisdom. We want to give insight, spiritual insight to those of you who may be walking in struggling, especially women who have husbands, boyfriends, or however you want to put it, men in their life who are definitely struggling. We want to hopefully we can give you answers through the help of God. If you just give me a minute, I need to do something real quick here. One of my guests, he's having a little trouble getting on. Let's see if we can help him out here. He just asked me just to see if I can send a link to him in a different format here. So we're going to do that real quick. And we're going to get back here. Let's see here. Okay. Hopefully that'll help. But I have a panel tonight. I have a panel of men, brothers who I have walked with over the past couple of years. They are family men. They are men who I know, first and foremost, they love God and they walk in the statutes of God and they strive. Now, I'm here to tell you, now, just because we all love God, that I'm here to tell you, and I'll be the first to say and hold my hand out. Let me hold both of them up. Look, I've had my challenges in this walk. But one of the things that I can tell you right now that has been so essential in my life is the fact that I have a walk for God. And I'm absolutely certain that they themselves would say the very same thing. So without any further delay, what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring on my guest. First and foremost, my dear brother Ken Fillmore. Say hello to the audience.
Hello, everybody.
All right, and then Mr. Darren Bird.
Good evening, everybody.
All right, awesome. Let me see if I can get y'all names up here. I know y'all got names on there, right? Let me see here. Where are they? Where are they? All right, here we go. There we go. All right. Technology, y'all. Technology. But it's okay. It's all good. Yeah, yeah. So hey, I am yeah, I want to start out with this question, and I want to pose this question to you, Brother Ken. And this is a question that, bro, if you can provide an answer, it would definitely help a lot of men. And the question is, why do men struggle being themselves? Why do men struggle within themselves?
If I'm gonna give an answer, I'm gonna give an answer, you know, in wisdom. And the answer that I'm gonna give is because of outside expectations, other people's expectations that have been placed on the man. And
Wow.
in me saying that, I can use myself. I don't want to use anyone else, but I would have to use myself in saying it because there have been a lot of expectations placed on me by family members, by friends, even neighbors, people that I work with. These are expectations. Some of them are outside my scope, but
Mm.
I found myself trying to live up to those expectations. My mom actually called me her Superman, and when she said that, I was like, wow, that's how you look at me like that, And she has this saying because when I think I was 24 years old, and she had asked me to get something done, and without thinking, I said, I can't do that. And the look that I got from my mother, it was a pause that was placed in me. And the next thing she said this in front of my wife. She said, these are her exact words. She said, your name is man. And the way she said it, it was like a gut punch. Like, telling me, don't you ever tell me that you can't do something when I know that God gave you the God-given ability to do it. And that type of pressure, that type of expectation can do something to a man.
So when you talk about outside expectations, can you give us an example of what that would be when you talk about outside expectation? Because I think that's a good response, and I
Mhm.
believe that there are a lot of men who do feel that way, that they're living their life to satisfy and to please everybody else based on, as you stated, that expectation.
Mhm.
And because of that, they get lost as far as their self is concerned in the process.
Okay. Um, example. My wife, my wife, asked me to. She had asked me to build something for her at home.
Mhm.
And the expectation is that honey-do list needs to get done because that's wifey. Happy
Right.
wife, happy life.
No, 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 no. Hey, we can't say that, bro. It's
No.
happy wife, happy home.
Oh, gotcha. Gotcha.
That works. That
Happy
works.
home, bro.
I'm gonna put that inside here. But
Yeah.
that was the expectation for me to get that done for my wife because she had wanted it done for some time. So I said,
Right.
okay, I started working on it.
Uh-huh.
And I got a phone call. I got a phone call from my mother and my aunt,
Mhm.
and they needed me to take them somewhere. At the
Uh-oh.
same,
Uh-oh.
exactly.
Where's this going?
So I told my mom, okay, give me about an hour, and I'll come down to Fort Lauderdale. I'll take you. And the hour turned into 2 hours and turned into 3 hours. And then I started getting phone calls, and and me trying to explain to my mother and my aunt that I'm trying to finish something up for my wife. The conversation didn't really go the way that I needed it to go. And the words that she was saying, she wasn't mean in saying it, but she's like, I expect you to get down here, and do these things because I need you to do it. So now it's sort of a tug of war between my mom and my wife, and it's me having to make the decision, okay, well, it's my wife and my mom, but my wife, because I cleaved to my wife. I left mama at home, and man, you don't understand what I had to deal with for the next few months. All the snide comments, and she looking at me sideways, and then she'll bring it up every time she got a chance, and then she was like, she would tell me, well, I thought you can handle that. It's just you taking me to Miami. I just need you to take me to Miami, but it's just something that small can cause you to be a different person, and sometimes we got to learn to say no. We have to learn to say no. We want to try and please everybody in our lives.
We got to say no to who?
Huh? Say again?
We got to say no to who?
Well, we just have to learn to say no.
But to who?
To who? I'm like that too, Lionel. I'm sorry.
Who you gonna say no to?
Well, I had to say no to both of them a few times, mom and wife, because I need time for myself.
Brother, let me tell you something. I'm gonna give you this straight up. I heard you said that we have to cleave to our wives. You better keep on. You keep cleaving. You keep cleaving. You keep cleaving to your wife. I'll tell you. Look, time will make time for itself with us as men. See, we built for this. You know what I mean? We built for this.
So because we're gonna be transparent tonight.
Yes, sir. That's
we men.
Hey, and let me just interject this real quick. See, because this goes to show that really we don't have it all down ourselves, and there's some things that we need to fix. But iron sharpens iron, and I'm glad that this conversation is going the way that it seems that it's going, because again, it goes to show the importance of why it hasn't come up yet, but why we need each other. Because when we try to do this thing by ourselves, listen, we're going to mess up.
It's true.
We're going to make mistakes. Okay, come on, go ahead and respond there, brother Darren.
Yeah, go ahead, Darren.
I was just saying that, I seen the battle that you had between your mother and your wife. I went through that same battle with my wife and my mom. Like my mom wanted to continue to be first, right. But then I had to let her know, no, mama, my wife is first. At the end of the day, she's first. I'm going to be to her beg and call her when she needs me, and when time for me to help you, then I can do that. But not until I take care of
wife,
mama. You know what I mean? I gotta take care of my wife. I gotta take care of Bossy. I gotta take care of Boss Lady now, because she the one take all my stuff. You know what I mean?
Right.
She take all the stuff I gotta ditch out in the physical and in the natural. All that stuff. She pulled that part of me right now. Even though my mama did bear me, right? Mm-hmm. She bared me to be a husband to a woman, to a wife. You know what I mean? Right. And when she bared me to be a man and be a husband to that wife. And then you got to bring that back into remembrance sometime. Like, mama, look, we ain't gonna get into no battle about this wifey first. I gotta take care of my wife first. Then when I get through with this, if I have this much time left for you, I give it to you, every bit of it. Or I take what I got right here and I cut it in half. You heard me? I'm gonna cut it in half. Half gonna go to me, and half gonna go to you. And that's how we fix that. And that's how we fix that right now.
I'm a firm believer. Welcome to the platform, Mr. Tyler.
All right, my brother.
Glad you was able to join us, man. You go ahead and unmute, man. Speak to the viewers.
My bad, I'm a little late. I had a little technical difficulties
It's
a little
okay, bro.
bit, you
You
know.
here, man? You here?
Okay, I was up. Let's rock out. I'm glad
Yes,
to be with
sir.
sit with the kings up here. I'm glad to sit with the kings.
Man, all right, the Knights of the Round Table.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Yes, sir.
Mm.
Yeah. I'm with you, brother Bird. Listen, my mother lives maybe 2 blocks from where we live, right? And I'm always there for mama, but I don't put my mother before my wife. I don't do that. I'm gonna take care of my wife, make sure her needs is now. Is my wife understanding that I have a mother whom I at the responsibility of looking out for her has fallen on me and my sisters because the very simple reason our father's no longer here. But yes, my wife is definitely understanding. But I would never, ever, ever, if I had a choice between my mother and my wife, I'm going to take care of my wife first.
That's right.
I'm going to see to her needs first, and then I'm going to get to mama. And it's not about mama getting leftovers, but mama understands. And I'm telling you, mama never gets in the way, especially when I say, mama, I got something I got to do for real. She's like, okay, well, go ahead on. Because she understands. She understands. And I think that's important that, listen, one of the, I'm going to say it because it's in my spirit to say it. It's not going to go the way that I as far as the script that I have for the program tonight, but I'm going to give it real talk. Let's talk some real talk, okay? One of the things that, there was something that was said, one of the reasons why we struggle, and I'm talking to the husbands, one of the reasons why we struggle with our wives is because we think more of ourselves than we think of them. I'm gonna let that sit a little bit.
You ain't got that sit.
Hey, say that again. Say that again. Say that again now.
I said the reason that we have issues, not the one issue, but one of the main issues that we have, we struggle with our wives is because we think more of ourselves than we think of them.
I'll agree. I struggle with that early on in our marriage. Like the first 3 or 4 years. I didn't give my wife the forethought. The first thought should have been for her. And it was always, for me. It was for my protection. It was for my benefit, not for her protection, not for her benefit, not for her upliftment. So I definitely struggled, in the beginning of our marriage for that. But now, I really and truly don't. It's her all the way. I'm gonna go with her, regardless of what, whether I have to make a decision or if I have something that bothers me, that's who I'm going to. Is going to my wife, because we're one, and that's the only way to move. When I move, she moves.
Let me tell you. This is how I look at it. If your wife cannot depend on you, then who are they supposed to depend on?
Right.
I agree with
that. Lean on if you're not there for them.
I agree with that.
Let me tell you what happened. That my wife had an event. And it's real talk. Hey, my wife's spoiled. My wife is absolutely spoiled because when she have her events going on or whatever, she always expect her king to be there for her. But yes, she also understands my commitment to our men's ministry at the church. So here it is. She have this event that she relies on me to support, to be there, to help her set up and everything. But then yes, still I have a commitment to the men's ministry, and it's both at the same time. Well, I could not be there with her. But what I did is that I still set up an alternative for someone to help her, to assist her, to get her all of her products and stuff to the event. And then when the men's ministry was over with, then I went to fill in and to help her. But I wasn't going to leave her hanging. I was going to well, you got to figure that out on your own, baby. I can't help you there. I'm going to go to this men's meeting. No, She was my priority, even though my commitment was in two places. But she was my number one priority and making sure that she was taken care of. Her need was being met, even while I continue to go and fulfill my other obligation as far as the kingdom of God is concerned. Next. Anybody else got one to respond before we move on?
Let me tell you something. The woman I have now, she showed me how to love my mother because we never had that relationship.
Wow.
And that's how I know the kind of woman that I got. And I know it's for me. When I go back to that scripture, he said for me to cling to my wife, I cling to her bosom, because that I know what's in her. I know what's in that woman, And when we first got together, I did the same thing, Ken. I consulted by myself because I was so used to being by myself. Right. Start doing things. Then she'll call me, hey, where you at? What you going to do? You know what I'm saying? I'm here at the house. You could have took me with me. Before I know, I say, you know what? I don't made plans without her, why even involve her? Because I'm so used to being by myself. But not today. Every now and then I do it. We get that blockage sometimes. But for the majority of the time now, I do know this, that I have to involve her in everything that I do. Because if anything happened to me out there, who's gonna come to my rescue? It's gonna be her.
Absolutely.
That's what I'm depending on, just like she's depending on me as her husband to come to her rescue, like you reiterate on what you were talking about, Minister Lionel. She's gonna look to you. You are a hero, right?
Absolutely. That's it.
And that's how I see it. She's my queen. She's my queen. She sits on the throne right next to me. So if I can't treat her like the queen she is, I ain't got no business being with her, And that's straight up, with that, And that's kind of like when you say when a man's cry, Minister Lamb. That's when my tears come in, because sometimes I find myself in the shower, I'm crying tears of joy for the blessing that he gave me in my wife.
Preach, bro.
Preach. For the good woman that she is, and all the stuff she take that I dish, There's a lot of stuff she take, a lot of my garbage that I'm not, as a man, I'm not even recognizing I'm dropping this garbage on her because I'm so used to doing what I do. They more emotional creatures than we are. We don't carry that type of emotion. We men, we get musky, we stink, and we do greasy work. That's what we do. They cook, they provide, and they be beautiful. That's what they do. And that's how things happen. Right? So we think about our women. God built them in such a way to take enough stuff from us. Not too much, but enough.
That right there. But I don't mean to cut you off, and brother, I'm gonna let you get in here in a minute. And see,
okay,
that what you just said just there is so key. They see we struggle. They see we going through something. They see that there is something emotionally is not right with us. And you'll hear my wife say it all the time in a heartbeat. I know my man. Something is wrong. And they want to help. Right. But we in our manhood, no, I got this here because we macho and, hey, I can handle this. No. And what we do, not only do we shut down, but we shut them out. So then we wonder about, okay, so then it's shutting them out. We're not only creating conflict for ourselves, but we're creating conflict with the one who God created to be our helpmeet through the situation, to help us meet. Let me tell you something. One of the things that I have learned over the years, and I'm grateful for my wife, and I would say this not only to the men that is on this platform, but to every other man who would hear my voice. While you as a man is looking for the answer to a situation or circumstance, your wife already has the answer made already for that circumstance. But no, you want to shut that down because you got to do this myself. You want to handle this yourself. If that was the case, then God would have never made a woman for Adam. Let me let that rest right there. You want to respond, Brother Tyler?
Man, y'all saying some good nuggets. I catch on what y'all was saying about the wife. Like, my wife and I probably her and I, we grew up together like 14, 15 years old. So we kind of like grew up together. She know like whatever my downfalls is, like if I'm weak in something, she know my strength, whatever her weakness is, you know what I'm saying? I got her strength. But my wife not like other wives, man. Like we just put a bookshelf up before I moved over here to my house. You know what I'm saying? So she bet she can put a bookshelf up by herself. You know, I can do it. You know what I'm saying? We do it together. So my wife, she's a different breed. You know what I'm saying? So and like yeah, that's about it. You know, my wife, she not like the you. She ain't my wife ain't gonna say harder, but like more mature than dudes. You know what I'm saying? So so my wife, she not really she not really like she ain't gonna say vulnerable, but she know when to
She's a definitely,
put her pride down. You
yeah.
know, she know how to put her put
You got to
her pride down a little bit. You know, but my wife like a different breed a little, man. You know, so
y'all
yeah.
see me, I got the over in charge. I got the phone trying to go dead. I'm here though. Y'all keep on. I'm
Go
staying.
ahead, bro. Go ahead, do what you got to do,
Okay.
man.
I'm just
So
reversing
yeah,
the room around. That's all. It's all good. I'm right here waiting. Ain't no we said no distraction.
Yeah, that's all right. We there ain't no bro. We good.
Look, we
but
back in there.
I caught the miss part when you was saying something about when men cry or something like that.
Yeah, yeah. When a man cries, we getting to that. We getting to it.
Okay. Okay.
So in essence, you have the type of wife. She really doesn't. Are you saying that she really doesn't depend on you for a lot of things?
I mean, like, yeah, she depends on me, you know. But if she want to do it, do whatever she want to
She
do.
gonna
If
do it
she say,
anyway.
look, yeah, I'm gonna do it anyway, and she be like,
Mhm.
babe, don't worry about it, I got it. Like for instance, like ordering parts. I had got a part for a car, you know. So
Mhm.
she can do the ordering part. You know what I'm saying? I go pick it up, you know, find a way to put it in. If you want to put something together, we can YouTube. We do it. We can do it together. You know what I'm saying? So
But let me ask you this
like that.
question. Let me ask you this.
Uh-huh.
Don't mean to cut you off, but let me ask you this.
Okay.
In what way is your wife essential to you?
Well, wife, she is essential to me.
Yeah. In what way is she beneficial to you?
everywhere.
But I don't. What you mean benefited,
Got
man? You know, well, you know, she speaking to my life. You know, she prays for me. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, and basically she cook clean. All I need is she cook clean. I'm cooking clean too. Well,
Right.
I cook
Right.
all right, but she you know cook clean. She benefits to me. You know, loving, praying. You know, being by my side. You know, to be a listening ear
And
or
then
just
she
to be a
walks
show.
with you. She
Huh?
she she walks with you. She got you. She got
Yeah,
you.
she got
Yeah. Yeah.
and like brother Darren say, man, you know, that's my ride or die, that's my best friend. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I like my wife first. You know what I'm saying? I
Right.
like then I love her. Then I love her, you know what I'm saying? Because how could you love somebody and not like them first? You know what I'm saying? Despite of everything, you know.
Yep.
You know.
You got something you want to say there, brother Darren?
Pages in this book to what our
Huh?
wives do for us.
There it is.
There's not enough pages in this book for what our wives do for us. Let me tell you
Wow.
something.
Wow. Wow.
God built
I-
women.
Okay, hold on. Let
Yes.
me ask the question. Are we still on when a man cries? We still on that subject?
Well, I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you right now.
Come
He
on.
built women for the work that they do will make you cry. You understand what I'm saying to y'all brothers? For, for the strong women that they are, man, that's enough to make a man cry for joy and peace, for happiness. You know, they bring joy to a man's heart. A good woman bring a joy to her man. You know, she can uplift him, man, in his downfalls at all times. That's what a good woman can do. A good woman can sustain a brother, man, through all the hardships, all the things that we face with. You got you a good woman, man. She can uplift you, man, better than anybody in this world can. I'm gonna tell you something.
But it
Ain't
seems like
nothing like
everything that's being said that we don't give the women
Enough credit.
in our lives
self credit.
who has placed in our lives. We don't give them the credit. We don't give them the opportunity to help us in the areas in our lives in which that we're weak in. This is why God said it's not good for a man to be alone. Now,
Amen.
on the flip side, some of us, we do have wives that are that they, you know what?
Man, but if you saying weak, man, the only thing I'm weak in is like this computer technology, this technology. See, she feeling like technology stuff. Like, all right, she know how to pay the bill over the phone, or she know how to do technology stuff. But father, like weak, man, I ain't weak. You know what I'm saying? When it comes, like, I love my wife to life. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? But if she happen to say, low man, I'm gonna leave you, you know what I'm saying? It'll hurt, you know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get over it. You get what
Yeah,
I'm
but you
saying? It'll
gonna
hurt
cry.
me, but like
Yeah,
but
but
like
you,
but like
yeah,
life ain't go life not gonna stop because of that. You know what I'm saying? If y'all
right.
if you know what I'm saying, I'm not saying nothing ain't wrong with my wife, everything good here, but I'm just saying if she say low, this and that, I try to work everything out. You know what I'm saying? But I just don't cry. I'm not a man that go cry. I figure it out some type of way. You know what I'm saying?
Can I jump
Yeah,
in,
and like,
Mr. Lama?
Yeah, yeah. Go
huh?
ahead.
No, I was asking, can I jump in right after you finish speaking? Sorry to cut you off, though.
Well, nah,
Mhm.
go ahead, bro.
Um, well, I can say this. With all of the pressures from the outside world, whether you're at work or you're having problems with the neighbor or you're having problems with the kids, this is something that my wife does for me. When I come home after a 12 or 14-hour day, and she knows how I work, the kids are not allowed to talk to me for the first hour and a half. Literally, I walk in the door,
That
she
that that
steps
was her
up.
decision. That was her decision. Because I don't want us to get off topic here. Because I really want to hit. We got some hurting men out there, and they need to know how to fix
Yeah.
themselves.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, that was our decision
Okay.
because
Okay.
sometimes, men need that, they need that alone time. You need
Can I
that
say
That's
something,
true.
time
man?
to breathe.
But can I say something? But when you saying weak, but how could all right, man? I ain't gonna say probably emotional. I ain't trying to be a Superman, but man, that's why you gotta encourage yourself in the Lord, man. When you feel like when you feel weak and stuff, man. How could you love your wife and be with them when you weak and crying all the time? You get what I'm saying?
No,
It depends.
we're not saying
I,
that.
I'm probably missing wrong, catching an error. Everybody have different ways they feel and different ways they do things in their house, or as a man. You get what I'm saying? You
Yeah.
know.
Okay, but
So,
let me
but I'm
say
I'm
this.
trying to
Okay. All right.
okay.
All right. So this is where we at. This is where we at. What I have been experiencing, I'm sure that many of you have experienced. We have. Let's just target it. Let's see if we could target it more as we have husbands that are really struggling in their marriage simply because they're struggling with life on one part, and especially when they have women who don't quite understand their role, and their husband's role. I know of men who are struggling just being themselves, period, whether or not with a woman or without a woman. This is what I mean by so, in essence, they have emotional issues. They are not very clear of what their function is or who they're supposed to go to or what they do. And what causes them to hurt even more substantially is the fact that they have a tendency to want to internalize a lot of their emotions, a lot of their feelings. Okay. In essence, why do men, the next question I want to ask, why do men struggle with communication? Why do men, they feel, something that you said though, Mr. Tyler, is that they feel that if they share their emotions or what they're going through, that they will be identified as weak. When in actuality, no, you're not weak, bro. You're being human. If you're hurting, you're hurting. If you got pain, you're pain. But when you strive to want to deal with it on your own, you're gonna have some. You just. I think I could go as far as to say you're just compounding the situation. What saith you?
Mhm.
I think that starts when we're children. I really and truly
See,
do.
now you're going where I need to go with this.
I think that starts when we're children. When you see a man child crying, what's the first thing we tell them?
Stop crying.
Shut up.
Stop
Be
crying.
Right.
quiet. Stop
Be
crying.
quiet.
Man up.
Man up. You
Yeah.
know, and what's that's stifling their emotions. That's stifling them from communicating with us as parents
That's
what's
true.
wrong.
That's good right there. That's good.
You
But
know,
see, but what you just said, brother Ken, what you just said, right, brother Ken? Like my dad like you, my dad for the military. My dad did killing from Vietnam. You know what I'm saying? My dad didn't really show me no emotion. The only time I seen my daddy cry really is when he seen when I walked across the stage when I graduated. He cried tears of joy. That's the only time I ever seen my dad actually cried. See, now when I was coming up, I was looking at my dad, how he never used to cry. So what I did when something bothered me, and like when I got in my emotions back then, I used to get mad and fight because I didn't know how to channel my anger.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? And then now it goes back to now. I see, okay, what make me mad? You know what I'm saying? I didn't have nobody to really actually really communicate with. And like brother Darren say, the only person showed me love was my wife, because I told you that's when I met my wife, like 14, 15 years old. So I probably grew up. My wife showed me how to love and how affection and how to be a little vulnerable, because I didn't never know how to cry. The only time, I didn't never know how to show like my feelings, or like you
You
get
can
what
say
I'm saying? Like,
you can say emotions, because emotions is life. It's not making you emotional, but we have emotions because we are human beings. As a
Right.
human being, we just don't we don't make we not emotional creatures that we cry by everything, that we
Right.
sigh by
Right.
everything.
Right.
but
But we
Right.
but
but we
but I
do carry emotions as a human being. We have a soulful part of us as men. That
Absolutely.
means, because
yeah.
if we don't have souls, if you don't have no, that means your soul can be you can check, because we all have a soulful side. I'm gonna say this about being an older gentleman. A lot of times those military dads, they never cried because they didn't want you to see them in a weak point. They didn't want
Right.
you to see them in a weak state because they made them feel like they was weak to their sons or weak to their daughters. But
Right.
there were many times that they do cry when we don't see. But
Right.
because of situations of life, want your family to have more than enough, and you can't get what you want to give to them, that causes a man to go to in a deep place on his own, and he will shed a tear. But we don't try to express that all the time before our family, because we don't want to look weak in front of our wives or in front of our children. And that's one of the things that is. And I think a lot of time you need to be around another man, or consult with another man, so you can release. Because if I'm hurting, I ain't gonna tell you, I ain't gonna call you low and say, boy, and cry on the phone, boy, I'm struggling right here with this, boy. I'm gonna do it because I feel like you my brother, and I can trust you, and I can share that part of me with you. That's
Right.
that's what it is about a man crying. That's when we cry. That's when we have to show them emotions. Sometimes, because you got to have somebody to share with.
Right.
Let me put
You
this
got to
comment.
have somebody to share with.
Let me put this comment up here.
Mm-hmm.
Ms. McKnight says that so many men grow up with the men not supposed to cry or stop crying like a female. God have a man emotions also. And that says God gave a man emotions also. In essence, I like how you phrased that though, Brother Burr. You said that can have emotions, we're just not emotional.
No, that's right.
And
You can
that's
have
that's a good way to phrase that.
Yeah.
Mr. Carville said that when a woman makes her husband cry with joy, that man has to understand that he has to love that woman. Absolutely. Absolutely. Uh,
Let me tell you, I'm not weak, but I cry in front of my wife, man. I'm gonna tell you something, because I have to share that part with her. She needs to see a part of me that's not always a concrete.
Listen,
I can't be concrete all the time. I can't be still all the time. It's like I'm a human being. I bleed. Blood comes from out of me. I have a heart and it pumps. You know what I mean? And if I'm always concrete right now, when she need to be soft with me, how can I comfort her? If I'm hard all the time, if
Right.
I'm always tough all the time, I got to be to a place where I can be in a place where I can comfort her, where I can comfort my son, my grandson. I need those things in me in order for me to be able to understand what's going on in them. I had to learn that. Like, I tell my grandson this, he'll be crying. I say, hey, I say, what a man knows. I said, what boys don't do all the time. He said, cry. I said, I told him it's okay to cry, but men don't cry about everything.
mhm.
We don't cry about everything. We cry about the things that mean the most to us.
Yeah.
We get angry enough, it'll bring tears out of men, right? We get angry enough because we feel like I want to do something. I'm gonna shed these tears. Or go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
But what do wives do with men who are broken?
They comfort us and they build us up. That's who they are. Look, Apostle said,
But the man don't want the comfort. The
well,
man doesn't.
not all men, not all men.
Well, I'm talking about in generalization. I'm not
Okay.
talking about all men. But we have men who don't want comfort from their wives or their girlfriend or whoever. They feel that, they feel that, well, I have to work this out myself.
That's the point. I was gonna say that. I was gonna say that.
Yeah.
I don't need you. Or they feel that if they release or share what they are going through, that they're putting a burden on their wife or putting a burden on their family. They may even look at it as a way or a means of protecting their wife or their family by not sharing what it is that they're going through. And in my honest opinion, if you ask me, I think that is the wrong thing to do.
Feel that way too.
To fix, especially because remember, you're no longer twain, but you are one.
Right.
So whatever you feel, your wife feels the same thing. Whatever you have that is taking place in your life that is driving you to do things that are out of the ordinary. Listen, you're not only doing them to yourself, but you're doing those things to your wife as well.
Yeah. Go ahead.
This is a situation that I just recently went through. You guys know me. My younger brother, my youngest brother, he died in my arms, and I've been around death for 20 years. I was in the military, quick reaction force, Army Ranger, all of that stuff. And I've seen death, I've caused death. But that situation, I think that was the first time that my wife saw me beside myself, where I couldn't control any emotion.
Mm-hmm.
And she helped me deal with it. Even now, I can hear something and we can be in the car driving and I'll start crying, and what she'll do is, in a very soft voice, she'll tell me, she'll say, baby, just pull over. I got you, or it's okay. It's okay to release. It's okay for you to cry, because we as men, we need to hear that.
You have to release.
And that comes from, the nurturing part. Yeah, we love our mom, but again, we cleave to our wives, and we need that part. When Brother Darren said we can't always be that concrete man, that gruff man with our wives, because they have to reciprocate that stuff to us. If we're rough with them, they're gonna give us roughness right back. So we have to be able to connect with that emotional side. And again, going back to what I said in the beginning, it starts when we're children. When that seed is planted. Oh, stop crying. You a man up. Men don't cry. That's a lie. Men cry. Men, we need to cry. We need to get more in touch with our emotions, because that's what causes a lot of problems later on in life.
Let me put this comment up, because this is good. And I believe this. You all need to tag some brothers. I guess we do. So let's tag some brothers. Well, I did some tagging last night. Yeah. Because, listen, this is how I look at it. And it's going back to something that you said earlier, Mr. Bird. And that is, we need to be more unified as men, period.
Yes.
And if we don't have or show ourselves open or welcoming, then some men, even those that are right around us or what have you, they would feel that they have to walk that walk themselves. And I'm like, no, bro, talk. Let's talk it out. I was talking with a brother, and he had started to open up with me, but then I saw he shut down. So, I'm being really being led by the Spirit, and I didn't say anything then. I just let him go on about his business. So finally, I was like, God, well, you just got to give me an opportunity to share with him that you have given me to share with him, to speak into his life. And so I had the opportunity, and I told him, what God had told me to tell him. And he said to me, "Well, I know, bro." He said, "I'm working on it. I'm working on it." And I think what's important is that what good is it for me as a man to have gone through all that I know, to have experienced the life that I have experienced, and then I want to keep it to myself? I was talking with a brother last week, and they were sharing with me what they was going through. And I'm grateful to God that I went through what I went through, because I was able to minister to them from a place of understanding. I'm talking about true understanding of what that place he was in, what it felt like. But yet still be able to inform to let them know, listen, no matter what, you still have to rely on God. And I think this is one of the things, that was another one of my questions though. Why do men go to Jesus as a last resort instead of going to him first?
That's true.
Why do they test everything? They'll try everything. And here it is. Another question I want to ask. You giving them sound wisdom. You're speaking to them what they need to do, but that don't sound like it's the right answer. So they'll do what they want to do. And the way I look at it, they end up just compounding the situation in themselves even more.
Can I say something? Hey, brother.
Yes,
man,
sir.
my brother, right? My brother, he incarcerated, right? He right now he did 10 years, my baby brother, and he getting out like another 4 or 5 more years. So man, he shocked me. He wrote me a letter maybe like 2 or 3 days ago.
Mm-hmm.
And man, when I say he was going off on me, my little brother popping off. He was like, "Man, bro, man, you don't know me, you know what I'm saying? You ain't take time out. It's like you dislike me and all this and that." I'm like, "Bro, when you was little, you know what I'm saying? I should say, man, come over here, Darius, man. We you know what I'm saying? I used to watch him, because I'm like 12 years older than him. And I used to watch him when he was little. And like when I must have been around 13, he must have been like around 1 at like 2, 3, something like that. But anyway, he told my dad that I spanked him, I hit him or whatever, right? So my dad told me, all right, look, don't put your hands on your brother, this and that. Okay, fine, I didn't. He said, anytime you have a problem, you come tell him. And which I told my dad. So when he did different things, I told my dad, and my dad should chastise him, talk to him and chastise him a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So speed it up a little bit as he got like a little older, he started getting into troubles, you know what I'm saying, trying to follow like the steps like I was a little bit, but eventually I stopped doing like the things I used to do or whatever. So as I got like a little older and a little mature, I would tell him, like, "There, look, bro, let's go shoot pool. Come with me to church. You know what I'm saying? I do different things or whatever." But he wanted to go out, and sell drugs or do whatever he was doing, scamming or whatever. So now he's in jail now for like for attempted murder or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But now he started telling me his feelings. So next time I write him, I'm like, now when I was trying to tell you, look, man, come over here. I'm trying to guide him in. He want to go do his own thing or whatever. So what you can't blame me, bro. Cause like when I was trying to get you into doing the right thing, you rejected like what I was trying to do. So I'm not gonna chase you down, So you have to learn, man. He went off on me. So I started seeking God and reading books on how to be a man, and started reading books on how to be a better father or how to be a better husband or how to be a to like that, but he went off on me, bro. You know what I'm saying? So that kind of like threw me off a little bit. So he was putting all his problems, all his weight, how he feel, you know what I'm saying, like on me. And I'm like, bro, you can't put all your problem on me because you made your decisions, you know what I'm saying? You made your bed, you gotta lay in the bed, you know what I'm saying? You gotta lay in the things you did, you gotta, you know what I'm saying? But I write them and I uplift them. I send them books and stuff, But what am I supposed to do in this situation right here? So I kind of got a little angry, a little frustrated a little bit because he's trying to put his weight like on me, bro. I got my own wife, I got my own kids. You know what I'm saying? I got my own thing. I can help you when I can, but how can I help you? Like, you know what I'm saying? Why are you blaming everything on me like it's my fault?
All right. I don't know if one of you guys want to respond to that, but I certainly
Yeah.
will.
I was in this situation though, so I'm gonna tell you the way I was led to handle it. The first thing to do is tell him sorry.
Yep.
Because
Tell him sorry.
yeah, tell him sorry. And the reason I say that is because those are his feelings. They're not your feelings. Those are his feelings.
Right.
You know, and you can't change his feelings. So just tell him, so, bro, I'm sorry. I'm sorry if you feel that way. I'm sorry if I didn't, you know, live up to those expectations. You know, and then you can go into, but I did try. I did try. And you can lay out your argument. I did try to get you to move in a different direction. But how I am now, we can start building now. We can start building on this new relationship, on this new path. And prayerfully, I can help you get to see what I'm seeing. I understand what you're going through. You're away from family. You're locked down, you know, 23 out of 24 hours a day. You know, but I understand what you're going through. And then again, I may not understand what you're going through. But I'm sorry for, you know, what you felt that I should have done, that I had no idea of, you know, what we were trying to do together. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what he wants. He wants an apology for
because
what it may have been.
Yeah.
I think that just in line to extend what you're saying, even though he was lashing out, bro, Lo, he still was looking for, I would say, accountability. He was still looking for compassion from you. And I agree with Ken. But Ken, I would have, bro, and I apologize if I was not there as I should have. It ain't no fault of yours. Even though you, like you said, you already know what you have been attempting to do. And Jesus said, with loving kindness have I drawn thee. So you have to show kindness and love him from a place where he's at, regardless. Because if you retaliate back to him with the same energy and whatever that he gave to you, what you could do is that you could shut that and kill that relationship right off the bat, bro. Because if I was close to him, if anything, if he was come at, if I'm in his presence, and if he was to come at me the way that you're saying or speak to me in the capacity in which that he did to you, what I would have did was looked at him, walked up to him, and gave him the biggest hug that he could have ever received, for the very simple reason, I would let him know, no matter what you've been through, how you feel, brother, I'm here now. I got you. I got you.
Can I say he's tied up in emotions right now, and that's what he needs.
Yeah,
he's looking for he's looking for a way out of his emotions, because he's crying, he's going through his phases, and probably being in the prison, you probably can't show that many emotions in there because they begin to think you a little weak, you know, and then men want to try to take advantage of you. But all he want is a letter of, he wants you to hear him, you know. All he trying to do
because when he wrote to me, like, look, man, I'm just getting this off my chest. You know what I'm saying? But him and my little sister, him and my baby sister was tight. You know what I'm saying? But she have a way of having mind manipulative game over him. So what I do, she's saying, I hear everything she's saying, but you're not even much showing, you're not even much saying nothing, Lo. So why am I going to say something to you when she come along, she just take your whole mindset way down south somewhere? You get what I'm saying? So why? It's like I'm wasting my time saying something. So I just okay.
But you are.
I ain't make him feel bad or anything.
You ever know who you are yet? You know who you are to him? You probably about the closest thing he got to a father figure right now.
Thank you.
Because his father, your father's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, mom. Yeah.
And listen, I'm telling you, you was older brother. You 12 years older than him. So you about the closest thing to a father figure that he got.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of, and he just like, he's missing you, and he don't know how to tell you that. and then he missing the relationship that he wish he could have had with his father.
Absolutely.
Trying to get it to you now.
Absolutely.
You in a position. You know God. He see that you love your family. He
Yep.
see what you're doing with your life, and all he want to do is he want to really be a part of that, but he don't know how to say it.
He don't know how to say it. He don't know how to communicate it.
Like a Minister Lionel said, that was me. I walk up to him, give him the biggest hug he ever had, and I'm gonna tell him in his ear, boy, you are loved.
Love,
and that's all I can say. Boy, you are loved, my man.
And you know, I want to say something to that, because I don't know if you all had seen Kirk Franklin's fatherhood documentary that he did. After 53 years, he finally found out who his biological father was, and come to find out the father lived right across. I think my understanding lived right across the street or something like that from where that he grew up at, where he played, not too far from his studio and all. And let me phrase it to be more accurate. In the same community where is that he lived, not knowing. And when I was looking at that, because I definitely want to talk about that. What I look at with that now is the fact that I began to understand why Mr. Kirk went the direction in which that he went. And I hope that what I'm about to say will really shed some light on why we have a lot of dysfunctioning men. And let me deviate a little bit. I was thinking about my sons. I have 3 sons. And I was thinking about my sons one day. And I said, man, when I look at them, all 3 of them was able to glean something from me that I was able to instill in them. I gave them something that gave them life that they could took and utilize as life in life, shall I say. Whether or not is a musicality, whether or not is being able to work with their hands. Now the oldest and the youngest, they went more musical as far as learning how to play the bass guitar. They was able to take that musicianship and form their own life, had a point of direction for their own life. My middle son, not only he's the drummer out of my 3 sons, but he also grabbed from me because he grew up with me all of his life, learning how to fix on homes and do home repair. And that's a source of means of production for all 3 of them. And I was thinking, man, what if I wasn't in their life? What if I wasn't present with them? Do they have or have they had their struggles? Absolutely. But what if I wasn't there? They would have been going through life trying to figure out what their purpose is, what their direction is. And especially being a man who fears God, I always put that first and foremost in their life. Because according to Deuteronomy 6, we're supposed to teach our sons. We're supposed to teach our children about God. If we don't give them direction, what are they going to do? If we don't give them substance, if we don't give them purpose, then they will grow up and without fathers and we being engaged in our lives, in our sons' lives. I'm highlighting our sons because that's what the show is about. It's about men. Okay.
It's touching me now. That's touching me now, right?
They're lost. They will be lost, man.
Never had it.
And
I never had that.
This is what happened to Kirk.
Yeah.
This is what happened to him without his father being there. Then when I noticed, his father looked like he had his thing together. He had his thing together. He had his life together. And just imagine if all Kirk wanted to do was know who his father was so that he can have his love from his father. I don't care what nobody says. If your man is dysfunctioning, look at the relationship that he has with his father. I don't want to out-talk all of y'all because I know for a fact that as long as I had issues with my father, man, my life was like a roller coaster. My mentality was like a roller coaster. It was constantly dysfunctioning. But the minute I fixed my relationship with my father, not waiting on him, but I was able to restore that relationship. Let me tell you something. My life, it mellowed out. It balanced out. And I think the reason that we have a lot of men who do cry, who do become emotional,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of times, let's see. And I'm just questioning. I don't know if guys, I might be rambling on here,
Are
but
you good?
No,
I'm
you
you're touching me, man.
man,
I'm waiting for you to get through so I can drop something. I gotta drop something on you.
okay, let me let you drop it there, because I guarantee you, look at every man who is struggling with something in their life.
I already
No
know you
matter
going.
it's fidelity, whether or not it's drugs, whether or not it's lust, whether or not it's alcohol, whether or not it's just having some substance, it's because their father is absent.
Look,
And
that
then
will
go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
that will cause men now today. I'm an example of that. I was a young man growing up looking for love from a father that I never had. I never knew my dad. Never had nobody I really could call my dad. So I think I cleaned on the people who I thought was around me, and I took that they friendship as a fatherly love, when it really wasn't. Because I'm tired of I was so tied up in all kind of emotions. Anybody that came along and I felt they showed me a piece of love, I kind of cleaned to them, right? And all these, and I found myself in years spending years in the streets with these dudes who I thought loved me. In
Yeah.
the moment I got shot, and I was laying up in that hospital bed, the dudes who I thought loved me was my brothers. I didn't think they were at all, because they wouldn't even come visit me. They wouldn't come see me. They went, and I found myself in the bed weeping, crying a couple of times. I'm crying at night. I'm like, wow, these must be my brothers. These are dudes who I feel like love. These who I share all my love with. These are dudes, I go blow for blow with. I'm willing to lose my life for them. But that day I laid in that bed, I figured, I said, you know what? This ain't for me. This ain't the ones that love me. They don't love me like I thought they loved me. So I end up, throughout my life, not to be trying to make it about me, throughout my life, I find myself in situations with different people who I thought loved me, and who I could call friend, who I could call brother, who I could go through for information to help me out. And I didn't have that in none of them. Now I have it. In you brothers, I believe I have that in you brothers. You know what I mean? I feel like I could go to you and I could tell you anything. I could share the things with y'all because I know where y'all coming from. I know where you at. I know your mindset at. I watch you, like you talk about your son, Minister Lionel, and I watch your relationship with your kids. But then again, when I look at your kids, you did give each one of them a gift. I was watching your son today in the booth, up there doing that work. That comes from his dad. That's a gift passed down from you, right? Like the same gift your dad passed down to you. That gift is still passing down. Now he passing it down to his sons. I think Toro, when he get a chance to become a father, he's gonna be a great father. He's gonna be a great father because And I'm watching James. James, like you, move from place to place, place to place. He in his first marriage, Lionel. You hear me?
Yeah.
So I'm looking at the apples that fall from your tree, and how emotional you get. Like when if anything happened to your boys, you would drop the hat of a dime and you would run to them boys. You getting to them.
I'd be right there.
And that's all because of the emotional respect that you have for them. That's the emotional connection that you have with them as a father. And there's love, which is right. It was a time of love, emotions, and being my sons. And that's something that we have. I watch you, bro. I watch you too, Lord. I'm gonna get all three of y'all. I'm watching y'all. I'm watching you, Lord. How you treat your son, how you love on him, how you hug on him, how you treat your daughter. I'm watching that and how you talk about them. Because every time I ask you about your kid, well, let me tell you about this one. When I first met this one running track, this one here doing that. Because the love and emotion that you got for your family. When your kids graduate, did you cry?
I felt, man, I felt a lot of emotions, you know what I'm saying? But see, the thing is, like with my dad, he ain't never come none of my football. My dad
Hold on,
come to
let me get you. Let me get you. Bro. I'm talking about you. This is about you. How did you act when your kids when they achieved their accolades?
Man, I feel good on like in everything, every level from their life, from 2 years old to football to elementary to track to ballet to tap. I was there all the
You
way
answer
to
my look,
now.
answer the question. I want to know, did it make you want to cry? Did it make you want to show your emotions?
I mean, yeah, I love them. I didn't cry though, but I showed emotion. I felt compassion, you know, the love. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
you're
You
a
know,
tough brother, boy. Okay,
I
all right.
didn't.
Now let me get you, Ken. Let me get you, Ken. All right, let me get you. And this all this helping me. This helping me as a man. This helping me as a man because I had to learn all this with my kids. You know, even though it was like when they were 14, 15, 16, I had to learn these things, to take these things that I learned. And I watch how you is with your little man, Ken. And you out of all your children, I see what you with your other daughter, but that little boy, I watching you go get him, you straighten him out, you shake him up, but then you drop some wires on him, then you hug him up, then you put him back in the seat. Even though you're trying to be tough with him, it's still an emotional part of you. I mean, that's still my boy. That's my boy right there.
Yeah, yeah.
That's my boy. You know what I mean? And all I'm saying is, I watch each and every one of you gentlemen be fathers, have emotions with your children. This is something I never had with a man in my life. I never had that for a man to love me like. I tell my wife, she's the best person ever loved. Nobody ever loved me like she loved me. Nobody ever loved me like my wife loved me. Not my mother, grandma, nobody in my life.
See, that's
But
the benefit of having a good wife, because a wife will teach you how to love.
that's right. And she made me to have a relationship with my mother. She taught me how to have a relationship with my daughters. And right now, the reason I'm saying this because I'm fighting for a relationship with my boys. You know, I got a stepson named Eric, and I got a son named Darren. And I'm fighting to have that emotion with them. You know what I mean? I got to be able to share emotions with them, to talk to them, to be able to be able to win them over. You know, in reality, let them to see me that I'm more than just Bird. You know, I'm a great man. I'm a good person. You know what I mean? And I got a lot in me that can help them. You know, and that's what I'm longing for. And I desire to have that. And I cry sometimes because I desire to have that. And when my stepson come and call and just talk to my wife, every time she on the phone, she said, Eric, she don't know how I walk out of the room. I said, boy, I love that boy. He don't know how much I love him. And it touched me. It make me emotional. You know, sometimes I might drop a tear, sometimes I won't, but I'll be in sorrow because I want that relationship with him.
It'll
I
come.
want I want to be that person he come to and say, he even got to call me dad. He can call me Bird. I'm cool with it. But look to me as a father figure, as a person that he can share with. You know, I want that. Even with my own blood, my flesh and blood. But I can't give it to him. So you know what I'm doing? I'm putting it in my grandson.
You
I'm
know,
putting it in my grandsons and my granddaughters. I'm putting it in
I,
my grandkids. Go ahead, brother. I had to get that, man, and let you know, man, that this thing touching me.
but let me show you something here. That in Luke 15, it talks about the prodigal son. And everybody highlights the prodigal son. One day, the Lord allowed me to focus on the father. And I come to the realization that no doubt it was so funny that I shared this interpretation, or this lack of a better word, with this revelation with my wife. And I told her, I said, man, everybody focus on the son. But what about the father? Anybody ever thought about how that father felt? And
Yeah.
how difficult it was. He knew that his son was making the wrong decision. And I have no doubt that he did everything that he could to talk his son out of that situation. But he had to let him go.
Uh-huh.
He let his son go. And it's interesting that I believe, though, Brother Bird, that the same way that you're feeling right now, that father of the prodigal son felt the same way. Because the scripture says that when he saw his son afar off, afar off, he ran to him, he greeted him, he welcomed his son home. So this is where I've come to the realization that when we have children, that as we feel that we long for that relationship for, and all the thing that we can do is continue to be the loving fathers and the loving men of God that we are, and just continue straight the path and don't deviate.
Oh,
Because and continue to pray, because guess what? That child will return home. And I'm a firm believer of that.
amen.
I'm kind of in that situation with one of my children, but I don't let it, I'm not going to say it doesn't bother me. Yet still though, where instead of what I do is that I continue to put my trust in God, that through prayers and through the word of God, that relationship will be restored. We got a couple of comments here I'm going to put up. Some of our greatest blessings come from our fathers, but also some of our greatest burdens come from him as well. And that's true. That's
Mhm.
true. And we have to understand that it's a domino effect, really. Because if you look at your grandfather, relationship between your grandfather and their father, if you have the ability to do so, it's there. I want to slow down a little bit. I believe that if I don't want to give it all, but anyway, I believe that it's important, even if our grandfather didn't teach wasn't there for our father, and our father wasn't there for us. Now that we're in Christ and we know better, and if we have children, if we have sons, it is important that we be there for our children. We do
Mhm.
not continue the cycle. We break that generational curse that can happen. Let me ask a couple of really quick questions here. Another question I want to ask is maintaining a relationship with a woman the greatest challenge a man can have?
No, well, it all depends on how you go into the relationship. If you go into the relationship with truth, then that relationship it's gonna survive on truth. But if you go in there with lies and um deceit, then it's gonna make that relationship hard.
That's good. That's
It's
good.
gonna make it hard. You in a relationship, you gotta be able to show your emotions. You gotta be able to show your strength as a man. It doesn't make us weak to show a softer side for our loved ones. You know what I mean? But in order to lead your relationship with your wife, she's looking for certain things in a man. She's looking for a strong man, of course. She's looking for a man that'll provide, of course. She's also looking for a man who can be open up his emotion side to her when she need him to. She need that. They need that, because they're emotional creatures, and they're women. You know, we both built different, because you could be so hard with a woman so much, and when she come back to you, she seems like she harder than you. You had to tell her tone down, baby.
As it was said,
Yeah,
they're gonna reciprocate it back to you.
that's right.
You're gonna get it back. Whatever you give a woman, she's gonna give it back to you
Of
double.
course.
You're gonna get it double. Uh, got any? Let me see here. Let me put this one up there for you. This is from Pastor Baker. She says, Minister Lowe, tell yourself I can, I will. God will help you to be able to say I am, and eventually I did. So that's those are words of wisdom. Hey, look. Mr. Jones put this on. He said, one of our strengths and pitfalls are our strength. We think we can handle situations without God involved in it because we got the strength in ourselves to deal with it. That's a good word.
Good.
And I think that the most important thing, and I'm going to say this here, because let me ask the question and then I go from there. What advice does do women need to know when it comes to dealing with a man or their husband who, in their perspective, is malfunctioning?
Um,
How, how should
who you
they
praying
go
for?
about how should they go about dealing with this man? I think, let me just leave it right there. Let me leave it right there.
Well, I'll say continue praying for us. That was something that really helped me. My wife she's an intercessor to her core, and you know she would pray for me. It's not like she will wait for me to leave the room or wait for me to go to work. She'll stop whatever she's doing and she would literally pray for me, and I'm hearing her prayers. you know I hear what's in her heart.
Mhm.
And if you can't be moved by hearing what's in your wife's heart or your significant other's heart, then yeah, you are going to continue to malfunction, because
Well, I want to say
those
this.
prayers are pure, you know, and that's supposed to be between her and God. But in those moments, that is between her and God, you know, whether you're there or not, you know. And I would just tell you to continue to pray for your husband, continue to pray for your boyfriend, continue to pray with, you know, your husband and your significant other.
You want to respond, Brother Bird?
I learned this about what my wife. I can't speak for everybody else's wife. I learned about what I dispatch to her and around her is the affection that I get from her. If I'm giving her something to draw on, then she loves me. But if I ain't giving her nothing to go on, then she kind of stays away from me. She watches me differently because, you know, our women are looking to us not just to be their providers. You know, remember, like, you know, we're the priesthood in our home. We're the priests in our homes, right? We are the trendsetters in our house. You know, if you do a little thing around your wife enough, if y'all got that relationship, she'll start doing the things that you do, right? She'll start acting like you. She'll start speaking like you. She'll start doing everything that you do. I think a strong my wife is a strong woman. She prays for me. She let me know when I'm wrong and when I'm right. And that's what I love about my wife. You know, I love that fact that she'll let me know, Bird, you handled that wrong. Or Bird, you did this wrong.
Oh, yeah.
And when they do that, that's showing us that they love us, they care for us.
Yeah.
That they, you know, that and the reason why they don't want us doing it because she's attached to what we do.
Right.
So whatever, because we won. So whatever I do, it's demonstrating that who she is too at the same time. You understand what I'm saying? So we have to be.
Let's say let's say we have wives that are doing it. They are praying, they're believing, they, you know, are trusting God, but yet still that husband still is being contrary in the relationship. He's in a vulnerable place. And I think that most men do things for the very simple reason that they are broken. Something is wrong with them, but they don't know how to come out of it. They know
It's
what
gonna
they
take God.
do.
It's gonna take God. They're gonna
Okay.
it's gonna take God. Let me tell you something. It's gonna take God because if the one that's the closest to you can't help you with the things that you really fighting, or you don't feel comfortable enough to tell that to her, it's gonna take an act of God. It's gonna take an act of God. It's gonna take an act of a man that knows God in order for us to make this thing happen. Because that's a hard one, Atlanta. You know, because I think a man that's like that, he's not intact with. It's something in him that he's not intact with.
Can I say something?
It's pride, right?
Ahead. I think Tyler wanted to say something too. Go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay, go ahead, Tyler. Go ahead with your thought.
Real quick. A woman can also be the catalyst to help us get to another man of God.
Yeah, but you have women, but you have men. No matter how much of a catalyst that woman strive to be in that man's life, they still reject it.
Yeah.
Well, I agree with Brother Dan there. It's gonna
I know
take
they know.
God himself.
Men can only hear from other men sometimes. Let me tell you something. My wife always said, because she said, I just said that to you, but here he comes and said it to you, and you can hear him differently. And that's the thing what it is.
So
men can only hear from other men.
So then are we saying then that wife should look to another man who they trust in order to possibly speak into the life of
that's what I was saying. That's what I was saying. The wife can be the
But that's what my wife would tell me. She'll say, yeah, she do that. She said, babe, you need to talk to Minister Lyman.
Yeah. Yep. Hey, she do the same thing. Hey, let me tell you, she do the same thing, bro. She like the little plumbing situation. You know, I had to get the snake. He said, "Why don't you just call Mrs. Nelson?" I said, "Man, I don't want to call this man for, you know what I'm saying." But you know what I'm saying. But when I called him, I could tell he was busy. You know what I'm saying? Because I heard him in the background, he was busy about my little plumbing situation. He was like, "All right, what you do is find a little thing in the back, see which way it's going." Bum 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 bum. I went on here. He told me what to do. I got the snake. I got everything handled. Bum. You know what I'm saying? But like, man, I appreciate that, man. Because actually, I'm gonna get ready to go out soon. When you call me Mr. Nelson, I was on the road getting ready to go out. But man, it's not that you did it for me. But I told you, man, if I can help or do anything, man, everything I gonna do, I put it to the side because I appreciate. I'm gonna tell you, I ain't trying to blow smoke up him. You know what I'm saying? But I appreciate him. You know what I'm saying? Because anything I call him, he'll call me, and he'll call me back. And that's something I got a problem with. I ain't gonna say proud with me. And life, man, everything, I ain't gonna say I did myself, but through God, you get what I'm saying? I never had nobody, like, even with my dad, even though my dad was here, but sometimes he wasn't here. Everything I learned, I didn't learn everything from my dad. You get what I'm saying? Because everything he was showing me in front of my face. In my life, everything was uncovered. You know how you try to cover everything up from your kids, man. I seen stuff in my life. You get what I'm saying? I saw it. You know what I'm saying? So certain things, I feel, I don't, sometimes I ain't gonna say, I can say proud a little bit. I'm gonna be honest. I don't go to people for stuff because I'm so used to doing things and figuring things out for myself and making mistakes on my own and learning from myself.
Mistakes build character.
You know what I'm saying? I built character was in myself. So like when I go to another man, it feel like, dang, I don't want to bother him. You get what I'm saying? Because he might got something. He got his own issue. He got his own problems. You get what I'm saying? Or he got situations who he dealing with. So I gotta figure this out like on my own, which I've been doing for almost 43 years of my life. You get what I'm saying? So
but that's the point.
When I so when I come to somebody, I'm like, dang, I don't want to mess with the man. You know what I'm saying? It's brother Dan or the kid or like or anybody. You get what I'm saying? I'm everything I got. I'm not saying. You know, I thank God for giving me for leading me and directing me and showing me after the Holy Spirit to guide me. But like in certain situations, I don't want to like bother nobody. So you just doing stuff like on my like figuring things out on my own. You get what I'm saying? But I thank God for the men that spirit of life. You get what I'm saying? I appreciate everybody.
I'm very grateful for that. I'm grateful for that.
You know, but man,
I learned if you watch a man long enough, you will see who he is and he's about. You sit around here.
You gotta.
That's right.
Like practicing what you preach, man. Bitch say, just call me, bro. And then one thing you say, man, if you don't find a result, just call me and let me know what's up, man. I called him the next day with a picture. I was like, look, man, I done staked it, man. I done got the snake from home, dude. I done did it, man. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, I appreciate you. I appreciate you too, brother. Then I call you your man every time I need you, bro. You know what I'm saying? You there, you know, bitch. Sometimes I try to walk things out. Like, all right, when I be in a church house, right? I try to figure stuff out. I don't always want to run a daddy or, you know what I'm saying, my brother for something. I try to figure it out, try to put my brain together. But if I'm blocked in, if I'm in like in a wall in a bind right, man, now I got to call somebody from a place of wisdom. I don't want to run a daddy every time something happens. Oh, man, I'm feeling hit my arm, man. I felt my knee. Man, I'm finna figure this thing out. You get what I'm saying? But if I get into a bond where I can't figure something out, like the situation I call you, all right, man, Mrs. Nelson, I need you to give me some wisdom on this here. You know what I'm saying? And I thank God for all the men. I thank God for all the men that spirit of life, man. You know.
I think when a man needs stitches, he got to find the one that can help him knit the wound clothes.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right. You know, I wrote this thought that we it's our responsibility to teach our sons how to cope with life.
Mm-hmm.
We have to teach them, and then you know the reason that you're the way that you are, Tyler, because that's how you grew up. That's the life that was handed to you. So again, here it is. But you're learning. It's a possibility that God is showing you and teaching you how to learn to not be afraid to ask for help if you need help. And whereas a lot of men, they don't want to ask for help because they feel if they ask for help, that either that would make them feel less than a man, or they incompetent or weak, you know, or they're dumb, or they ignorant, or they stupid because they got to ask another man, hey, how do I need to do this or do that? Man, that's crazy. If I don't know, I don't know.
I was just, hey, wait, you just took that out of my mouth. If I don't know, I don't know. You hear me? If I don't know, I don't know.
And let me say this here: in an old coworker taught me this. He quoted this to me years ago. He transitioned in life, but he said you're always only 3 people from knowing everybody you need to know in the world. Meaning that if there's an issue in your life that you need to resolve, you may know somebody that may know somebody that may know somebody that have the answer to your issue. But if you always stuck up, you got pride.
Pride.
Somebody comment up here. Let me see. Where is it?
I come from.
They say that pain. Oh, here it is, right here. There it is, right here. Pain will teach you what pride won't let you learn.
That's the truth.
That's true. Let me tell you something.
Show no. Go ahead, Mr. Bird.
Sleeping on. Let me tell you something. I had a lot of downfalls in my life, man. And I learned today, I had to go through those downfalls in order to become the man that I am today.
Right. That's right. But it didn't make you less than a man.
I don't make me no less than a man because I'll come to a man that's younger than me. If I see he got his stuff together, bro, teach me how to do that.
Thank you.
Teach me how to do that. Because it's not about an age thing. It's about the wisdom that God blessed that person with.
Absolutely.
We have to be like, we have to be a family. If we're a family of brothers, why won't we go to our other brother to ask him when I'm going through? We family. So why is it so hard for me to go to him and take this thing all by myself when I got 3 or 4 other brothers that'll help me?
But you just said something that just made a thought just dropped in my spirit. If we see a brother is in trouble, they may not come to them. If we see a brother,
go to him.
Words of wisdom. Why we feel that we can't go to him? Why man, that's his issue. I ain't got to deal with that. Nah. Or if he don't come and ask me, I can't help him. Man, if you need help, if you see a brother,
that's selfishness. Yeah.
Let me say, I came across something, and when I saw it, I immediately got on the phone. Hey, you all right? Everything okay? What's going on? I'm here. I'm just here. If you ain't got to. I'm here. I'm a shoulder to lean on or whatever.
Tell me something.
A lot of them won't. They won't come out of, like to talk about that pride. They won't come out of that pride and share
pride, shame,
what they're going through. They'll be afraid to.
Man, let me tell you something.
I hope we help us. So let us know in the comments. I want to thank all of you for your comments and everything. But let us know if we helping you here. But hey, listen, we're talking about the emotionalness of a man. We're talking about his struggles. We're talking about what he go through, why he goes through what he's going through. Again, ladies, just like Mr. Ken say, just continue to pray. Be prayerful. Don't nag him. He don't want to hear nagging. Stop throwing fire on that fuel.
Yeah.
No.
That's what I want to ask you. That's what I want to tell you when you were like, Mr. Tyler, what you want to say? Well, Brother Darren say, man, my wife, she know when to talk to me. She like, Lo, let me talk to you for a minute. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like Brother Ken say, you know that voice. I'm like, okay. You know what I'm saying? And one thing about my wife, boy, if I'm right, or if I'm wrong, like if we're in a crowd of people, she won't say nothing then. But when we get in that car, she like, Lo, let me just talk to you for a second. And I just hear me. I ain't screaming. I just want you to hear me out. I'm like, yes, honey. She be like, no, you was wrong, Lo, right? I'm like, yo, I was wrong. So I understand what you're saying. My wife like that also too. There's that voice. I say, I was wrong. I'm gonna go and apologize or do whatever I gotta do for the situation. So yeah, that's what I had wanted to say a little earlier. Mr. Nelson.
Let me say this here because we got to go. We got to get off of here. But I'm telling you, see how the Lord would have me to say this here. We got to break this cycle. We have to break this cycle of isolation as men.
Yeah.
We have to break the cycle. Especially if you, I'm saying what God placed in my spirit, especially if you are part of a ministry and you know that there are brothers in that ministry who are walking the walk and talking the talk. If you're struggling, you're struggling. So what? I don't know a man who have not had struggles and issues in life.
I know that's right.
I had my share. I know I've had my share. But this is why I have such a heart and passion and compassion for men who are going through stuff. Because I know what it's like. But ladies,
what man ain't going through, like,
that's the
what
point.
man ain't battling, man? What man ain't? You know what I'm saying? Point them out.
But
you know what I'm saying? What man need?
thank you. And
You
that is the point. But I can tell you now, though, ladies, if you want to help your man, strive to do everything that you can, that you should be doing in your power to lead him to God. And how do you do that? It's not always, you got to preach to him. But how do you do that? You continue to be that woman of God that God would have you to be. You continue to be that wife to that husband, no matter how much he is off the chain, that God would have you to be. You continue to love on him the way that God would have you to love on him. Hey, whatever it is that you can do, you do it according as you're doing it to God, and you put him in God's hand. And through your grace, through your love, through your passion, through your consistency with your responsibilities to the Lord and to him, then that's how you're going to win them over. But if you always you're going to lose them. You're going to push him out. And then what's going to happen? You're going to get to the place. Let me, hold on. Thank you, Lord. I'm going to say this. Some of y'all might get upset. Listen, a man don't have a problem finding another woman to give him what you won't give him.
Okay, I'm gonna say this, y'all, before we get out of here and get all us get in trouble.
Hey.
I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna say this though.
I know I'm talking truth, man.
You speak the truth, and it'll work both ways.
It's real talk.
It work both ways, and for that man that's stubborn in his ways, if you got a beautiful woman that's there trying to help you and trying to push you in the right direction to help you deal with the things that you're dealing with, you know, you need to take heed to that, because what she won't find in you, she'll find in another man. I had to clean that up, my brother, because they work both ways. Yeah. I don't want to go in. Y'all see me Friday. I got something about this big on top of my head. So.
Hey, Darren is not going to another woman, period.
Look, Darren is not going period.
Oh, not for you, boy.
Y'all didn't hear what I said? Y'all protect me.
Miss Bird she let y'all know, hey, nah, I'm his ball and chain.
Hey, that's it. Hey, you gotta, and that's the thing. But I know it's your show, Minister Life, but I thank God for this tonight. You know, that it may open up some doors to some men that are struggling, that they want to come to another brother and ask. If you see a man that you really feel like you could trust, who's led by God, who has wisdom from God, you know, cling to that man and get some wise instruction from that man and let him help you. You know, put that pride to the side and be healed, be strengthened. You know, come out, because you know a man that don't express his feelings you make yourself weak.
Very weak. You compound the situation. You think that you are really solving it when actually you're not. And I think out of all that was said, if I was to sum it up tonight, I think all that was said tonight, I think we need to.
Yeah. See, this is my grandson. Look.
Yeah. Hey, what's up, man?
It's all right, guys. Look, these emotions here.
Yes.
We have grown men still with emotions like this.
Yeah. Right.
Who need help to become more like this.
You know what? You know, just seeing what you're seeing, is it the possibility that most men struggle sharing and expressing themselves with another man because they never was able to do it with their own father?
Or is it that they shameful that he may look down on
him? That's good. That's a good thought. What do you say, Bro Ken?
I agree with Brother Darren. I really do agree with Brother Darren. You know, no man wants to be compared to.
Say it again.
No man wants to be compared to another man. You know, so he doesn't want to bring in another man so he can be compared to. So he'd rather do it on his own. But I'm telling you, men, you're showing a chink in your armor. You really are. When you get closer to God, then you're whole.
That's the key.
He's gonna feel every void. in your life.
That's the key. I personally feel that in order to help, I got so many thoughts going on in my head right now. I think the most important thing, what I would say to the men, going back to my closing comments to sum it up. Number one, you must be able to communicate. You must be willing to communicate, first of all, especially if you have wives. You know, if you got instructions, tell them. Just be honest. Be man enough to tell them, hey, you know what, I'm struggling with this. You know, it's not that this is my intent, but I'm struggling with this. Because we have to understand that there is always outside forces that want, especially when you talk about marriage, we talk about relationship, there's always outside forces that are presenting themselves. And if you have a man, or if you are a man who have struggles in your life, the only thing that's going to get you free from that is God. You got to go to God. You have to trust God and not use him as your last resort. I can tell you right now, even out of all the things that we've been through in life, if it wasn't for the Lord and our pursuit for God, let me tell you something. We would be in trouble. We would not even be here today. We would not be the men that we are today. You know, so I thank God for all of you. I was sharing with the brothers earlier that I'm grateful for the guys and the men that are in our church, because the men that are there, they're very strong, committed men who love God, love their families. No matter what our struggles are, hey, listen, we are fighters, we are warriors, as we like to say. We're striving to represent the mighty 300 there, Brother Darren.
Man, that's right. 300, the 300, y'all see that?
300, yes sir. Yes sir, we're striving to recommend them. Hey, y'all got any final words, closing remarks?
Hey man, I just, go ahead.
Well, whoever listening, man, we having a men's gathering this Saturday from 9:30 to 11:30. I don't know the address by heart though.
Spirit Life Ministries, 27 West Hollandale Beach Boulevard. 27 West Hollandale.
So y'all pull up, man. Real men do real things. Y'all pull up to the men's gathering.
And that's where you can get your breakthrough at, right there.
Oh, yeah.
And men, we are real men's men.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Iron sharpening iron.
Yes, sir.
That's what we believe in. That's what
Amen.
we believe in. And if you want more of what we have here and what we are striving, the representation of what you see on this show, come to Spirit of Life Ministry. To Spirit of Life Ministries. I can tell you, it has been a blessing to me, my family, as well as it's been a blessing to these other brothers here. You know, I'm going to go ahead. Hey, we have service on Friday nights at 7:30 and Sunday morning worship starts at 10. And we have leadership classes at 9. That'd be awesome. Brother Ken, he blessed us this morning.
Yeah.
Beautiful lesson. It was awesome. Hey, listen, I love Spirit Life, but we got to get out of here, y'all.
Love y'all, brothers.
Right, brother. You're all right, man.
Hey, to all of our viewers, thank you all so much. Those of you who have watched, and thank you for your comments and everything. I did see there was someone said we need to continue this topic. Well, we'll see what happens next week. That's the case. But you know, I love what I'm doing here. I love what we do here. And we didn't know exactly which way. I know where I wanted it to go, but yet still though, I believe that God allowed it to go that he wanted it to go because we yield to him. And we just want to help our brothers, Every man out there is not broken. We do have some men that really want to, they want to do us right. You know, they want to do us right. But they're struggling. You know, and it's okay. But we're going to help them. We're going to do the best that we can with what we do with the Father's love. Hey, without that being said, hey, we'll see you next week. God bless.